Apps can do a lot of cool things. You could order dinner, gamble on your favorite team, and track your health. You could even get a mortgage. One click and you can be approved. I'm not sure by who or what country they're in. You deserve more from the mortgage industry. At AnyMac Home Mortgage, we believe in the need for live human interaction during a very complex process. The kind of service and guidance which an app simply can't provide. Our customers are more than credit scores and income documents. They're individuals and families who live in and strengthen our communities. Their story is our story, and that story begins in a home. Chris Sawyer is an expert on providing superior customer service and in meeting the mortgage needs of current and future homebuyers. With over 18 years of experience in the industry, Chris is able to help customers migrate through the home buying and home financing process by using his wealth of knowledge as a well-qualified mortgage professional. And best of all, Chris is located in Cromwell, Connecticut, where he has helped hundreds of clients in Connecticut, Massachusetts, and Rhode Island make their dreams of homeownership a reality. Visit chrissawyer.any-mac.com. Email him at csawyer@any-mac.com or give him a call, 860-878-8730.
Chris Sawyer, NMLS number 39345, corporate NMLS number 338923. AnyMac Home Mortgage is an equal housing lender. American Neighborhood Mortgage Acceptance Company, LLC. DBA AnyMac Home Mortgage. Lo-Fi Direct. Connecticut First Mortgage Correspondent. License lender. Broker number ML 338923. Massachusetts Mortgage Lender and Mortgage Broker License number MC 338923. Rhode Island License Lender. License number 201128110L. Call for additional details.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Vince 2 for 3. He's done his part.
Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees are not. They're even close to the best organization in baseball.
They're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Welcome to Sports Talk with R&J. I'm Steve Risser, along with Justin and Afrio. Thankfully, we were able to get all of our I was able to get all my technical issues solved, so we should be good here. So, yes, we are here. It is championship week in college football, and we had the rankings last night. I mean, pretty for the top five. It was pretty obvious for the top five as you started with Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Washington 3, Florida State 4, and Oregon 5. My issue is number 6. Why are we putting a team that probably has no shot at getting into the playoff, number 6, when you have two teams that have a chance behind them? I don't get that. I don't get that at all. I don't get that. But it should be a very, very interesting week. It looks like Georgia, I would say, is the one team that's clearly in, even if they lose to Alabama. Michigan, I still think they have to beat Iowa. I don't know if they're going to put them in, but they probably are still in at 2. But 3 and 4 are going to get interesting because we'll see what happens if Oregon beats Washington, and then say like Alabama beats Georgia. Alabama is going to be the biggest thing. Is going to be the biggest one here because if Alabama wins, it's just going to cause chaos because they're behind Texas, but they beat Texas. There could be a chance that we could have Michigan. We could have Michigan in Georgia. We could have Michigan and Georgia in, and then it would probably come down to Bama, Texas, and Oregon. Say Oregon beats Washington, it would come down to Oregon for that last spot. So it'd be very, very tough to pick between those 3 teams, between Texas, Oregon, and Washington. If that scenario did play out, though, I'd probably put Oregon and Bama in the playoff. But the argument is Bama beat Texas. So this is going to be a great weekend because there is so much chaos going on. It would be so much chaos if Bama wins.
Yeah, there absolutely would. Bama's able to somehow, upset Georgia. Yeah, that would bring in major chaos. With that scenario with, who get in, Oregon, Texas, Bama. But, it's tough because, Bama then has the best one in the country. because they just snapped Georgia's 26 game winning streak, I believe now. So like I wouldn't see the committee leaving them out for that. But like it should be Oregon and Texas because Texas has a win over Bama. But
I
I'm with you.
know, but that win was so
jumped.
early on. That win
Yeah.
was so early on. That's the thing. That win was so early
But the
on.
games have to matter, though. That game's got to matter.
I know, because then you're saying the games don't. You're saying the games don't matter. Like in a perfect world for me, if Washington wins, I would take. Say Washington beats Oregon. I know. I mean, if Oregon beats Washington, I'd still have Washington in over Florida State. But they're definitely not going to do that. But I would still have Oregon because right now is Florida State a top 4 team? The only reason they're a top 4 team is because they're undefeated and they're playing the worst conference in college football, and they don't have their starting quarterback. And I'm sorry, Tate Rodemaker is not Jordan Travis by any means. They would have blown Florida out if Travis would have played.
Yeah, they're lucky that Florida's maybe the most undisciplined team in college football. That was Florida has some major issues down there. But yeah, like I'm with you. Like, yeah, you have to give Florida State credit because they are undefeated. They are, in a power conference. Yes, the ACC is the weakest of all, and they played a ton of backup quarterbacks throughout the way. And there's times this year where they kind of have not looked great, but that like right now, yeah, they're not one of the top 4 teams. It's going to be interesting what the committee does because it is one of the things. Like if they do beat Louisville, who now that because Louisville lost Kentucky, now it's not going to be a top 10 win. Now it's kind of like, okay, do we leave an undefeated Power 5 team out of the playoffs? They do say it's like rule number 2 or 3 that they do take account for injuries at the who's going to be in and the impact that they have. So it'd be very interesting to see what the committee does, because I don't, because if everything, kind of finishes, there's no upsets, and yeah, Florida State's definitely in, but, if there's some other things that happen, yeah, does Florida State get jumped? Well, I don't think they would, but yeah, it would bring up very interesting scenarios.
Absolutely. Oh, there's so many because there's 7 teams that are clearly in this thing, and they're even announcing last night that they still think Ohio State's in it because they're ahead of Bama and Texas, which I think is false. It's totally false that Ohio State should be in this thing because they shouldn't be. But there's just so many scenarios, and the Bama thing makes it so interesting because the Bama thing is. But let's say, like for example, say Bama loses though, it's pretty clear cut. It's pretty clear cut because if Bama loses, then Georgia's clearly in. Assuming Michigan wins, they're clearly in. Then it would pretty much be down to at that point. It would pretty much be down to Texas, Oregon, Washington, and Florida State. So it would pretty much be down to those 4 teams trying to get in if Bama loses. So Bama, yeah, it's pretty much Bama pretty much is going to make this either fun or pretty clear cut on Sunday afternoon.
Absolutely, it would, yeah, because Bama loses, yeah, they got no chance. If they win, yeah, it's one of those things they're probably gonna. You would think the committee's gonna get them at that 4 spot. The other one, yeah, like Ohio State, the only way I could see them get in, Georgia wins, Michigan wins, Washington beats Oregon, Florida State loses to Louisville, Texas loses Oak State, and then Ohio State gets the 4.
Yeah, but
that's probably the only path.
But here's my issue. Here's my issue. Were you assuming that Michigan beats Iowa?
Yeah.
All right. Here's my only issue with that. If that was the case, I'd put Georgia in. I'd obviously put Georgia and Michigan in. Then I would put Oregon in, and then I put Washington in any day of the week over Ohio State. Look at the quarterback play, and they play in a tougher conference. If it gets down to Washington, Ohio State is at largest, I am putting Washington in any day of the week over Ohio State because they are a better football team than Ohio State. They got a much better quarterback.
Oh, actually, my scenario I had Washington beating Oregon, so like I had Oregon out as well. So it would
Oregon out as well. So that'd be 2 loss. Oh, so they would be. Then they would be in.
Yeah, yeah. So like that's kind of the only way I see fit that they get in, and I would be like Washington should get in over Oregon if it somehow came down to that large spot. Because the way the quarterback play hasn't been, even though Penix isn't healthy. I don't know what's going on, but I'll get to his numbers kind of when we talk that game, but. Yeah, like Washington's kind of been hanging on by a thread here. Like, this week's, It's gonna be a very interesting week for him. But yeah, Bama's definitely is it's could be there could be a lot of chaos or there could be no chaos. It'll be interesting how it kind of plays out. We'll kind of know a little bit Friday night because if Oregon beats Washington, then we already kind of get a little chaos as Washington kind of because if Washington loses by a field goal,
Yeah.
it'd be tough to tell them, you're done now because it is a Pac-12 team. They don't respect the community doesn't respect the Pac-12, so that's the issue.
Yeah, I mean, you're right about that. You're definitely right about that. So for our picks for who's going to make it, we're going to pick our games first, and then we'll go to our picks. We don't want to give away our picks for this week, and we're going to start with the SEC championship game. You got Georgia and Bama playing the SEC title game. I think this is going to be a close, competitive game. I think that Carson Beck is going to continue to play well. But first, we'll give our keys to the game and what Georgia has to do to win the game. And for Georgia, it's you got Carson Beck has got to play really well, and they got to contain the Bama running game because that's what Texas did when they beat them in week 2. That's what Texas A&M did. So if Carson Beck plays well and they contain the Bama run game, I think Georgia has a really, really good chance to win this game.
Yeah, for me, for Georgia, it's kind of containing Jalen Milroe. Don't let him kind of use his legs and be able to kind of run around and scramble.
A spy is important. A spy is important.
Yeah.
Kirby's got to use a spy. He doesn't usually use a spy. A spy is important in this game.
Yeah, because they, for Georgia, actually, I want to go back and look because I don't know how many scrambles they've really faced this year. Payne Thorne, I know, had 92, I believe, against Georgia. That's really been, as I'm looking at their schedule, that's really the only scramble they've faced. But yeah, if Jalen Milroe can kind of run around and make plays with his legs, he's that's gonna help out Bama. And then taking away the deep pass, because that's kind of what Milroe's been. That's what they've kind of leaned on all year. Make Jalen Milroe hit like the 5-6 yard passes. Kind of let them go down the field that way instead of letting them hit the big play. So that's kind of number one there for Georgia. My second one is be balanced offensively. They've really gotten the running game going in the last month. You mentioned Carson Beck's playing really, really well. You got Brock Bowers back. That's something where their offense right now, because they're off, and I'm not, their defense is still really, really good, but their offense has been better than their defense this year. Their offense is especially in the last kind of couple months here. So that's kind of the thing for me too. Just be balanced offensively, kind of keep Bama on your toes or on their toes in this one. I think Georgia's got a good chance of winning this one.
Yeah, absolutely. And for Bama to win this game, pretty obvious. Stop the run, force Beck to be one-dimensional, and run the ball yourselves. No offense to Jalen Milroe, he is the worst Bama quarterback probably since Jalen Hurts' freshman year. This is and I don't say he hasn't played bad. Bama's had some great great quarterbacks. I mean, with Tua, with Mac Jones, with Bryce Young, they've had great quarterback play at Bama because Milroe is definitely. Don't get me wrong, he's definitely better than AJ McCarron. He's definitely better than who won that?
McElroy, Jake Coker. They won with Jake Coker.
Yeah, he's definitely better than those guys. So, but he's the worst Bama quarterback since Jalen Hurts' rookie year because the quarterback play at Bama has been so good. So, yeah, the running game with McClain, that is very, very crucial in this game. So running the ball and stopping the run, that's very crucial to Bama winning this game. And that was something Bama did not do last week. If their run defense is the same as it was last week, there's no way they win.
Yeah, absolutely. They got to be better at stopping the run. This time around this week, because Payne Thorne kind of ran all over them. Yeah, for Bama, it's kind of offensively. They got to play like 60 minutes because their offense this year stalled out at times. Like they look again, they're losing a half against Tennessee. They put it on in the second half, but like South Florida, they only got 17 points. That was one of them was a late touchdown score. Like Bama's offense, they have some weapons, but it's just like they just stall. They don't always put it together. They put up 42 against LSU, but LSU's defense is a sieve. Mississippi State, they kind of ran it, got enough against them, but so we saw a Texas game, they kind of struggled there. They hit some big plays, but they didn't really build any drives together. So for them, you got to be able to kind of 60 minutes is gonna be huge for them. And then Dallas Turner's got to be a game wrecker. Alabama's been so good at getting the quarterback. He's kind of the main reason. And Beck really has not faced much pressure at all. I think he's only been sacked, 8 or 9 times, I believe, all year. So he's been pretty comfortable back there. If Dallas Turner could kind of get in his face, that's something new for him. That could be a huge kind of advantage there for Bama. So if they can kind of get after Beck, make him uncomfortable, Bama's got a shot here to upset the Bulldogs.
And you brought up Dallas Turner. That's why stopping the run is so crucial, or containing that run game with Milton and Edwards is so crucial, because they can contain that run game, then they could pin their ears back and they could play, and Dallas Turner could be a factor. If Dallas Turner is a factor, that definitely improves Bama's chances of pulling the upset.
Yeah, you're absolutely right about that. Yeah, because Georgia's offensive line's still pretty good, but I think it's been better the last couple of years. So yeah, absolutely. Turner's been a monster. I don't think they've really faced a pass rusher like that either yet this year for Georgia. So yeah, it'll be kind of interesting to see, if he can kind of get some pressure on them. Do they got to double team them? So yeah, it could bring up some interesting things in this game. So yeah, absolutely, Dallas Turner. Yeah, it did kind of keep him third and long there, make him on passing downs would be really key for the Tide there. Try to get an upset.
Absolutely. And to talk about the game now, I think this is a game that Georgia does have does have success running the ball. I think Carson Beck plays well. I do think Jalen Milroy plays well, but I think he makes that one big mistake. I think Georgia's defense forced him to make that one big mistake, which cost them the game. That's why I have Georgia going undefeated and beating Bama again. I have Kirby beating Bama 2 times in a row. Saban wanted to play Georgia after not playing him last year. He's got his wish, but I think Kirby beats him again. I got Georgia winning this game 31-24 over Bama, but Justin, can Bama get revenge from what happened in the national title, and can Saban beat Kirby in another SEC title game?
I got the Bulldogs as well, 31-21. I hate trying to count out Bama because it's like a couple years ago, the SEC championship game. It's like, how's Bama going to have any time to, with how good Georgia's pass rush was looking?
But
and
the difference in Bama in that game, they had Bryce Young. They had Bryce Young in that game.
Yeah. There's no Bryce Young in this one. It's tough to kind of count out Saban. I hate to kind of he's going to lose by 2 scores, but I still just think Georgia's got I think more talent. I think they're more better kind of overall team than the Crimson Tide. I wouldn't be shy to see the Tide kind of keep this close, but the way they played in the Iron, I know the Iron Bowl is a weird one, especially Jordan Hare, but they just haven't put it together. And the offense, I don't think is completely fixed yet. And I think Georgia's defense does enough. And I think Georgia down in Atlanta, there's going to be a lot of fans on both sides, but probably going to be a little bit more Georgia fans. So I get the Bulldogs win by 10 points.
And the big question is, and I think it's a pretty obvious one, if Georgia loses this game, are they still in the playoff? And I think it's an obvious question. They absolutely are still in the playoff, even if they lose this game.
They will, but do they deserve to? They lose, and I say no.
Yeah, because their schedule. You're right. Their schedule. Yeah. Their schedule. The SEC East was not great this year. I will give you that. Their schedule was really who they beat was really Tennessee and Missouri. And Missouri.
Yeah.
It's really all they beat. Yeah, you're right about that. You're not wrong about that.
Tennessee's not good. They have 4 losses. Ole Miss, I know wasn't, but we know Ole Miss is a fraud. That's not a great team at all.
It's still a good. I know you're not a lane guy, but still a good team.
They're a good team, but they're not a top 10 team.
But you can say the same thing with Ohio State about Penn State and Notre Dame. You can say the same thing with Ohio State about Penn State.
I think Ole Miss and Penn State are pretty equal. I think Penn State may be a little bit better than them. Missouri's had an awesome year, but I know their game with Georgia's supposed to play Oklahoma. I know the SEC wanted to remove that because Oklahoma's joining the conference, but their out of conference schedule stunk. That could hurt them because it's who else are they beating? So I'm with I think they would be in, but they shouldn't. That's unless if just absolute chaos happens. But
But you said they shouldn't, but they should. But you said they shouldn't. I still think they should because they've won so many games in a row. They really, the last time they lost was the SEC title game against Alabama.
Yeah, it is. But should the pass count? They probably put a little stock into that. They lose by a point. Okay, I don't know. The Georgia team's still probably the best team in the country. It's still the best team in the country, but the SEC was just down this year in general. It was the number 2 conference, but Pac-12 was 1, but there wasn't a lot of great teams, and they kind of roll through it, and they always kind of get the advantage of they have half their teams always ranked because of the SEC, and it's supposed to be a gauntlet every week. This year was not. So, like, if Oregon beats Washington, Washington should get over Georgia because they went through more of a gauntlet than the Georgia Bulldogs. So, but that wouldn't happen.
No, absolutely not. They're not taking a Pac-12 team over an SEC team.
No chance.
No
chance.
Not at all. Not at all. But we will move on to the Pac-12. And Friday night, we got the Pac-12 championship game between Oregon and Washington. And I think this is going to be a really, really good game. Oregon lost to Washington 36-33, but they went for it twice when they should have kicked 2 field goals, and they went for it on 4th down. I didn't mind that call when they went for it on 4th down from the 47, but then Penix drove down to win the game. But still, I think this is going to be a really, really close game between these two teams. But I think Oregon's offense is going to have a big day. Bucky Irving, Bo Nix. I think right now Oregon is the second best team in the country behind Georgia. I think, and you could argue maybe the best. I mean, I think Bo Nix is going to have a really big game again. And I do think Michael Penix is the same thing. I think he has a big game. Dylan Johnson has a good game on the ground. I think this game is going to be back and forth. It's going to come right down to the end, but I'm going to take the Ducks this time to win 38-31. But Justin, can Washington get a sweep of the Ducks and head to the playoffs?
I think they will. I got the Ducks as well, 38-27. I think the Ducks won by 2 scores.
Yeah,
Dylan
Vegas
Johnson
has them as a 9.5-point favorite.
Yeah. That I think to me that tells me that they know Penix is not healthy, which I don't think he is.
Yeah.
And Dylan Johnson at the end of that Washington State game last week had a boot on.
Wow.
I haven't heard anything on his status. I assume he's gonna give it a go, but like you miss those two. I know you got Rome Aduze, who's been good, but Michael Penix, his first 5 games this year, had 16 touchdowns to 1 interception, and his completion percentage is 75%. In his last 7 games, he's got 16 touchdowns to 7 INTs, and he's only completing less than 60% of his passes. So I don't think he's right. I don't, pretty much since that Oregon game, he's been banged up. I don't know what he's playing through, but he's trying. Their defense kind of, made enough, played pretty well last week. They got lucky because Penix on that final drive should have thrown 3 interceptions, and Washington could not pick one of them off there. But I think in this one, I think the Ducks in the trench are going to win this one. Oregon is built like an SEC team. Dan Lanning, the former Georgia defensive coordinator, has built that team like it's an SEC team. And that like Oregon's have a lot of success next year in the Big Ten because they're built for it. They're built up front, and he's done an awesome job with that. Bo Nix, the way he's been playing this year, I think he makes enough plays against this Husky secondary. They're 124th in the country. I think the Ducks do whatever they want. I think they win in the trenches, and I think because it's a neutral site game, it's an advantage Ducks. And a couple very aggressive calls from Dan Lanning in the first game kind of costed them, but they convert a couple of them. They win that football game. So I got the Ducks win by 2 scores. I hope it's a close game. I hope Penix is able to be 100%, and this game's really, really close and goes down the wire. But I just think he's too banged up. I don't know what Dylan Johnson's status is, and I get the Ducks winning by 11.
Now, the big question is should Washington still get in the playoff with a loss? I still think even though they haven't played that well, I still think they should because they went 12-0 in the Pac-12, but I don't think they will.
Yeah, I'm with you. I think they should. If they lose by 11, it's going to be tough.
Yeah, they're done. If they lose by double digits, they're done. Especially with the committee, they're done.
Yeah, they definitely be done. They definitely be done. It's like they should still, but I don't think they will put them back. Yeah, they wouldn't put them in there, unfortunately. So, yeah, they would deserve it because they went through a gauntlet. They're the first team since the Pac-12 expanded to go 12-0 in the season. So, which it kind of says about how the big Pac-12s kind of cannibalize each other throughout the years. So, it'd be tough to make that case for them, and I don't think the committee would. So, fortunately, I think they'd be going to they'd be going to a different New Year's Six bowl.
Yeah, exactly. It looks like very easily could be Washington, Ohio State in the Rose Bowl, but who knows who's going to play in that game? Who knows who's going to play? You probably want to have Harrison playing. You probably want to have Penix playing. You probably have a lot of guys not playing in that Rose Bowl if that's the matchup.
Yeah, that'd be disappointing. Actually, the Rose Bowl I think is actually one of the semifinal matchups this year.
Okay.
I think
so
Rose and Sugar.
Okay, good. So it'll probably be some random like Fiesta Bowl game or something.
Yeah, it'll probably be one of those. So yeah. But yeah, hey, still maybe a possibility watching Ohio State with death. Depending on play, would that be an absolute shootout? Future Big Ten matchup. I don't think they're playing next year. I don't think.
Who knows? Yeah, there's so many teams.
Yeah, I
in
haven't
Big
looked
Ten.
yet. Yeah.
Exactly.
Yeah, I'm not. Yeah.
Too many teams, and you're gonna have a lot of teams that don't play each other in the conference in this new Big Ten. That's why I don't really like it that much.
Hey, like the Mountain West, they determine their championship game on like a computer. That's what's going to happen.
Yeah.
Like it's going to be decided on a computer.
It's not how things should be. It's not how things should be determined.
No.
It's not how things should be determined. It should be determined on the field, not on computers. That's the problem with these conferences being too big. Well, if you want the conferences to be too big, then just play all conference games. Just play conference games. Just play do that. None of these garbage, non-conference games you're playing. Just play conference games. That's it. Play conference games. Everyone plays conference games.
Yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if at one point the SEC and Big Ten branch out. That's probably what's going to happen.
Or maybe just have like maybe one or two, but they got to be in like against an SEC or a Big 12 or a Power 5 team. It can't be these these Mid-American teams playing Big Ten teams. Cannot happen when you have all these teams in these conferences. You shouldn't be playing those kind of games. That shouldn't be happening.
No, it shouldn't. But they want to build their resumes. They want same thing like how basketball coaches don't like opening night to play like a big team because they don't want to lose week.
Yeah.
Now it's a 12-team playoff. If Bama could afford to lose week 1 and still have a chance, especially in a 12-team playoff. So I'm with you. It's gonna be weird. I hate it. 18 teams in a conference just makes zero sense. So I've talked about it would be a mini NFL and any other sport or minor, other pro football leagues I've tried to go up against the NFL, it never works and it never survives. So
nope, exactly.
We'll see. We'll see how the SEC and Big Ten do.
Exactly. So we got a Big 12 match. We got the Big 12 championship game between Oklahoma State and Texas. I wish this was Oklahoma, Texas, because I think this game won't be that good. Because realistically, if you stop Ollie Gordon, Oklahoma State's not good at all. Their quarterback play is bad. And I think that's what's going to happen in this game. I think that their quarterback's going to struggle. Ollie Gordon's going to get probably not even contained. I think he's going to get shut down. I think Texas wins this game. I got to win it by 3 scores. I got Texas winning this game 31-10 over Oklahoma State. Because Oklahoma State shouldn't be the 18th ranked team in the country. They didn't even play Texas during the season. They lost to South Alabama, and they got destroyed to UC to Central Florida. They should not be the number 18th ranked team in the country. I don't care if they beat Oklahoma at home. They should be the 18th ranked team in the country. That's going to get proven on Saturday. Texas wins at 31-10. But, Justin, can Ollie Gordon carry Oklahoma State to a Big 12 title?
You don't believe in the mullet and Mike Gundy keeps this thing close?
No.
I think it's a touchdown game.
Really?
I think this Oak State always plays up the competition. Play down.
Okay, I got you. But if they can't beat Oklahoma State by like 2 touchdowns, there's no way Texas should. Don't tell me that Texas should be ahead of Alabama then if they can't beat Oklahoma State by more than 2 touchdowns.
This team's gotten a lot better. Like this is a different team than the way he played South Alabama. But Ollie Gordon, I think, had like 3 carries against South Alabama. It was after that bye game that they kind of played well. Carter Bradley, Gus's Bradley's son, played well. He's the starting quarterback out there, South Alabama. They're supposed to be a lot better this year. They've only 6'6", a lot of injuries from them. But in this one, Ollie Gordon. Again, Texas, I got to give Sark his kudos. First time he's gotten double-digit wins as a head coach. Defensive line, even the offensive line is built. They're ready to go the SEC up front. But I think Oak State's offensive line is pretty good. And Mike Gundy is such a good offensive schemer, play calling guy. He's going to scheme up points in this game. He just is. I think Alec Bowman's not great, but I think he's improving a bit. Not great, but he's improving. And yes, Texas absolutely dismantled Texas Tech. It's been a rough year, a lot of injuries. But I don't. But other than the Texas Tech game, when has Texas really, stomped on somebody's throat this year? Not really that much. Like I think Oak State's going to go out there Saturday. I think they're going to keep this really competitive. I think Ollie Gordon's going to have a good game on the ground. And Texas secondaries, don't give up big plays. And if Texas wants to if Texas wants to stack the box 1-on-1, Ollie Bowman, I could think, can hit a guy downfield once or twice. That Texas secondary is vulnerable. So I say it's a touchdown game. Texas is good, but I think last week was kind of, wasn't a true I don't think that's the norm for the Longhorns. But look, going for the first Big 12 title since 2009, which is crazy to think about. But It is. I think they do win it, but I think the Cowboys keep this close. You can never count on Mike Gundy. You just can't.
Yeah, we'll see. We'll see. I just think that Texas wins this big because I just don't like Oklahoma State. I don't think Oklahoma State is that good. Now, talking about another overrated ranked team, and that is Iowa, who is taking on Michigan in the Big Ten championship game, and I think this is going to be another complete blowout. Iowa went to Penn State and couldn't do anything. That's by far the best team they played all year, and they lost 31-0. I think it's going to be more of the same in this game. I think the run game is going to get shut down. I think that Corum is going to have a huge day on the ground. I think it's going to be similar, very similar to the game 2 years ago. I think Michigan wins this one big. I got Michigan 41-10. And really the big question here is this game going to be any different than it was 2 years ago when they played the Big Ten championship game?
No, I got Michigan 24-0. I think Michigan, because Will Johnson's not going to play. They're going to miss one of their best, or probably their best offensive lineman in Zeter. Like, I think Michigan goes up 10-0, and they just sit on the ball and just, okay, let's get out of here. No injuries. Let's just keep the ball for 40 minutes and just get out of here. So, maybe, so I don't know if, how many points Michigan's going to put up. I don't think they're going to, because they don't need style points. They just have to get out of there and win the football game.
Yeah.
So, yeah, I could see Michigan put up more. I'm just kind of going on the side of I think just try to get out of there. Yeah, for Iowa, their point total for the first half is it's under 0.5, like, and it's juicily under. Like, I don't see this team's not scoring unless McCarthy.
How is this team the number 16 team in the country? Their schedule was ridiculously easy. The one good team they played was Penn State, and they got destroyed. They belong on the same field as Penn State. How do you think they're going to belong on the same field as Michigan? I think this game is 41-10 and could be, or Michigan. But Michigan wanted. Michigan could want. If Michigan wanted to, they'd win this game 52-0.
Oh yeah, absolutely. They could win this thing 52-0. I don't think Harbaugh will. Well, Harbaugh's probably pissed off everybody in the Big Ten though. So I wouldn't be shocked. I think he'll be smart enough not to push the envelope in this one and just kind of get out of there with a win. But yeah, I was last this year in yards per game. They average less than 250 yards per game.
Wow.
Offensively.
Wow. I'm telling you, if they played like a Pac-12 or an SEC West schedule, this team might not even make a bowl game.
Will Parker's defense so good.
Good. They gave up 31 points to Penn State. How are they so good? Yeah. Michigan's defense is better. Ohio State's defense is better. How is this defense so good?
Well, their Mayo's offense did not help them out. Like, didn't Penn State have a lot of they didn't really have to drive the field all that often.
I get it.
So, it's always a tough spot. But, again, they lost their best cornerback in Cooper DeJean as well, and he's a return man. So the only other guy on the special teams that could kind of set up their offense is out as well. I believe he's done I think he tore his ACL. So yeah, the only way they score points is a turnover. I don't see that offense doing anything. That offense might have 100 yards of off. Deacon Hill, Michigan last week against Ohio State said, all right, let's just sack the box. Let Kyle McCord beat us. Kyle McCord made a couple bad decisions. The last INT he got hit, it's a tough one. You got to throw it there. You can't get sacked. So, but Deacon Hill, that's going to be Deacon Hill's not doing anything against his defense, not at all. Like, their defense is going to be tough. Put us in tough spots. This one, I got Wolverines 24-0. I could see it being much worse, but
now we got the ACC championship game between Florida State and Louisville, and I think Florida State wins the game because I don't think Louisville is that. They're 10-2, but another team I don't think is that good. I don't know why the committee's ranking all these teams that are in these weak conferences. They have these easy schedules, these weak conferences, like in the top 15. I think Louisville's not a top 15 team either, to be honest with you. So I think that Benson has a pretty good game on the ground. I think Rodemaker manages the game, gets the ball to Keon Coleman. I think Jared Verse is the difference maker in this game. I think he makes plays. He even creates a turnover. He's going to prove why he should be the top defensive end taken in this draft. I got Florida State finishing the season undefeated, winning the game 24-17. But Justin, can Louisville ruin Florida State's playoff hopes?
Yeah, I got the Cards 27-23 in this one.
I'm not surprised.
Yeah, Jeff Brom, he's got 3 wins already against top 5 opponents. This guy is very good. I think last week was
Here's the thing. Where are those top 5 opponents now, though? Like, didn't he beat Notre Dame when they were undefeated?
Oh, no, in his career.
In his career. Oh,
in
gotcha.
his career.
Oh, yeah,
like,
probably those Ohio State win he had years ago. It's probably one of them.
Yeah, that was one of them. I forget the other 2, but yeah, he's had 3 of them. Brom is such a good kind of schemer offensively that I think they're going to be able to put up enough points. And look, Jack Plummer's not great, but Florida, this is probably one of the better offenses that Florida or Louisville's but Florida State Jack Plummer's probably one of the better quarterbacks Florida State's kind of played lately. Because like even when they played Leonard, they played Duke and Riley Leonard was out. But the thing, like Florida State struggled offensively for most of that game last week, and Florida's defense is awful. Arkansas put up 39 on them, and Arkansas, Arkansas's offense did nothing like that all year. So Tate Rodemaker, I thought he settled in the second half. They thought Trey Benson, they need Trey Benson, their running back, to run all over the Louisville defense. And, they need Jack Plummer to make a couple of mistakes, the Cardinals quarterback. But I think Jack Plummer managed the game well. I think, I think Louisville's been pretty good at getting to the quarterback. So I think Louisville does enough in this one. I think Bromsky, again, Louisville's not great. Yeah, I agree. They're not a top 15 team, but his team usually gets fired up for these moments. He's very good in these type of games, and I was impressed with Rodemaker. Again, Florida State's got Johnny Wilson and Keon Coleman. Those 2 can make some big plays and kind of help out Rodemaker. But I think Cardinals, find a way, and this would be, and part of it is it's the ACC. Usually something kind of like the Pac-12, just something goes wrong for this conference. It feels like every year in like these type of moments and games, even the regular season. I think Louisville kind of spoils the Florida State party.
Yeah, I could very, very easily see that happening. Now we're going to go to who we think our top 4 is going to be, and I'll first say what I think it should be. Now with what I picked this weekend, obviously we got Georgia number 1, and we got Michigan number 2. Now what I think it should be is, I think from how I picked it, from how I picked the games, how it should be is Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Oregon 3, Washington 4. But how it's probably going to end up being is, from how I pick the games, it's going to be Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Florida State 3, which would be crazy with the quarterback with their situation. But I think just because they're undefeated, they're going to put them 3, Florida 3, and then Oregon 4. So it would be I'd have Georgia against Oregon, and Landon going up against his former team, and I'd have Michigan State going up against Florida State. So that, for my prediction and how I think it's going to happen, my 4 are the 3 undefeateds: Georgia, Michigan, Florida State, and Oregon. What are your 4?
My 4, I got Georgia as the 1 seed. I got Michigan as a 2 seed.
Yep.
I got Oregon finishing 3 to not go up Washington.
Yeah, it's gonna be interesting who you got the chaos here, because you got everyone lose. So you pretty much have it down to Texas. You pretty much have it Texas and Washington. You have it down to Texas and Washington. You have it down to those 2 teams. Who are you taking?
I had to take Texas because I think they put Texas over a Washington team.
But if Washington gives Oregon a good game, there's no way they should do that.
Yeah. So, if I had it as a 3-point game, I would have put Washington at the 4. But I think because I have them losing by 11, I think they're going to have Texas jump all the way to 4. So that's how I kind of have it at. But I wouldn't mind seeing Washington at the 4. I could definitely put them there. But I got Georgia 1, Michigan 2, Oregon 3, and Texas 4, and be all kind of 4 quadrants there of the U.S. is something we haven't really seen in the college football playoff. So we get all the regions into it.
Your 4 would have you'd have Georgia in the South, Michigan in the Midwest, Oregon out west, and then you'd have Texas in the
Southwest.
Because I kind of have 2 teams in kind of the Southeast, 1 team out west, and then I got 1 team in the Midwest. So you would have all 4. So we have 3 of the 4. It's just I have Florida State, and you have Texas. So it should be interesting to see what happens. Should be a big day on Sunday for the selection show to see what happens. But we got to move on to UConn basketball, and they made history on Monday night. But before we talk about how they did, we're going to hear from our friends at JPEG Financial and Shamrock Home Inspections.
Do you have a 401k and some savings for future retirement, but don't even know if it's enough to live off of? How much is enough? How often are you thinking about it? The team at JPEX Financial Group can help set your mind at ease. We specialize in creating strategies in the planning and managing of your financial, educational, and investment needs. We help clients pursue their investment goals with sound financial strategies. You deserve a personal, tailored plan. Lasting, meaningful, and open relationships are the foundation of our practice. You've worked hard for your money and should feel confident in your investment choices as you make decisions for your financial future. Your goals are our goals. We are dedicated to your needs and hopes for your future. Visit our website and give us a call at 860-430-5397. Securities offered through Raymond James Financial Services, Inc., member FINRA, SIPC. Investment advisory services offered through Raymond James Financial Services Advisors, Inc. JPEX Financial Group, LLC is not a registered broker-dealer and is independent of Raymond James Financial Services. JPEX Financial Group is located at 78 Eastern Boulevard, Glastonbury, Connecticut. There's no bigger investment than home ownership. And to make sure the house is up to your standards, you need a professional to look it over. Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections is a licensed home inspector and a member of the Connecticut Association of Home Inspectors. Brian was a contractor for over 15 years, so he knows how homes should be constructed and how mechanicals should work.
What makes me a good home inspector was the 20 years that I was a home improvement person, doing all the different repairs that I have done and what other people have done wrong that I had to go out and fix. So I have a pretty quick eye on seeing what's right and what's wrong. Before you move, call Shamrock Home Inspections.
Before you make the biggest investment of your life, call Brian Flanagan from Shamrock Home Inspections at 860-268-2566 or visit shamrockhomeinspectionct.com.
Alrighty, we got a special team here in the state of Connecticut. On Monday night, they broke the record for most non-conference wins by double digits with 24. They broke the record of the 2008-2009 North Carolina Tar Heels. This is a special team. This is a special team, and they're going to be tested this week. They're definitely going to be tested. It starts in Lawrence, Kansas this week. We got UConn taking on Kansas. Number 4 UConn, number 5 Kansas. This should be a big, big game. But honestly, I think they win it. Even if Castle plays or not, I think they win the game. I think they go in there and win this game. They were so good. Wow. Now, the double-digit streak's going to end. It should end in one of these next 2 weeks. The double-digit, the streak that they're going to get 24, and that's it. Because the streak is going to end. But I think they win this game. I really do. I think they win it. Here's the difference. I think Klingon is going to contain Dickinson. And the problem is we don't need to double Dickinson because we have Klingon down low. And I think Kansas is not – we're a better three-point shooting team than Kansas is. We're a better three-point shooting team. I think we pulled this one out. I got us winning this one 67-64. Do you agree, Justin? And how do they do it, in your opinion, if they win it in Lawrence?
I'm confident. I got Kansas winning. I got it like 68.
This team doesn't lose to non-conference teams. They've been great against non-conference teams.
No, but Bill Self in his 21 years at Kansas, his record at Allen Fieldhouse is 292-16. They don't lose there. And there's video. There's already 30 students already camping out inside Allen Fieldhouse for that game Friday night. Like that. They got rattled last year, the first road games at Providence and Xavier. They were rattled. That's, Xavier Providence are tough, but...
Yeah, but they're not coming off the national championship. They're not coming off the national championship. Now they're coming off the national title. They
are, but it is your first road test of the season. And it's not easy. It's not easy going out Fieldhouse and get a victory. I wouldn't be shocked because, yes, Kansas is... They don't have great three-point shooting. Last night, they struggled against Eastern Illinois. They're come back from Maui. I'm not surprised. Usually teams come back from Maui. They kind of struggle their first game back out. But Dickinson's he's I think 8 for 13 on the year from 3. Like he's improved his shot. He's gonna kind of step out, but other than that, like Kevin McCullough's, he can drive. He's not a great shooter. DeJuan Harris, he's probably one of the best point guards in the country, but he doesn't like to shoot unless he has to. So for like UConn, look, they were 4 for 28 the other night, and Hurley kind of called out the team saying they need to get off their phones and take off the video game headsets, and get in the gym. So, was not happy there.
But I got confidence that Hurley's going to get this team. Hurley's going to have this team ready. He's going to have this team ready. Look at what they did in the NCAA tournament. Look at what they've done against teams that they don't know, that don't know them. Outside of Big East play, this team's unbeatable. But I know it's a tough spot. Lawrence, Kansas, I get it.
Yeah, they hit a very tough spot. The last time they played Kansas out there, they put out in Kansas City. They lost by like 25. It was 95.
That was a good team. That was a good team. That was a team with Kevin Ollie and Ray Allen and Danielle Marshall. That was a good team. No.
Yeah.
They didn't win any national championships in those days. That was a good team.
No, they didn't. But
it was a
no, they didn't. But
team.
Yeah, it absolutely was a solid team. But you're going to a tough environment. You're going to a place that's tough to win. I don't know if Cal's going to be back, but they need Carabin to show up. Samson Johnson's been going off the bench, but like they need other guys to step off the bench. Like Duars played well. He didn't play well Monday night. He had no points, got 5 fouls. Some solo ball. He's kind of had a rough start here the last couple games. He had a great senior year, and he kind of risen his stock up to like a top 30 recruit. So I hope he gets it going. I hope he kind of finds some confidence. But right now, for UConn, it's kind of if they can knock down shots. Like for Kansas, they don't have many either. Like Nick Timberlake, who I thought was coming to UConn as a transfer, ends up going to Kansas. Awesome player at Towson the last couple of years. He's been awful. He's you could see he's got no confidence in it. You could kind of just see in Maui, like it's a different level right now, and he's really kind of struggled to adjust, and he can't play defense, so he can't even hide him on that end, and he's not hitting shots. So like for Kansas, like it's kind of you kind of knock down enough threes, they can be in good shape, but like they have to get out to a quick start and kind of you can't play from behind in this one. You're gonna have to kind of start like a 10-2 run, something like that. That's gonna be tough to do, but if you knock down a couple threes early, you'll be in good shape. But it's just a daunting task, and I think Kansas finds a ways to pull it out. But I wouldn't, because I think UConn's a better team. If they put in neutral, I think UConn wins. But like I think UConn's probably gonna be like a 2-3 point dog in this one. Like
how much do you think UConn loses by?
I think by 4.
4. So it'll be a good game.
Yeah, I think it'll be a good game. I don't think they're gonna get blown out here, but I just think going out at Fieldhouse is just a different animal, and I just think there's not enough in that whole. And Hurley asked Monday night too. The final thing, the officials not getting respect. He better be ready because you're not getting called there.
Oh God, no! You're not getting called out there. No.
And I'll give him credit. Monday there was, kind of close to a flagrant foul, and Tom Moore. I've never seen Tom Moore get off the bench. He actually went from the
go to the game Monday?
I was there, yeah. Yeah. So, Tom Moore got up and raced over the officials, and Dan Hurley was the one holding him back, which is something new. So,
gotcha.
So he did kind of keep himself calm, but end of the game there, they gave New Hampshire had 29 free throws in the second half. Like that's defense. You can't foul. So.
Yeah.
We'll see. Kansas defense not great either. They're not great man-to-man either. So I think it'll be a good one, but I think at home Kansas just finds a way.
All righty. So, but Tuesday night they have another tough non-conference game with UConn. You will be in the building for that game, and I also think they win this one. I think they win this one. I think they might actually win this one by if Castle's back with being in the Garden. I think they might win this one by double digits against North Carolina because I am not a Hubert Davis fan at all. I think he's close to Kevin Ollie 2.0. North Carolina went from going to the national title, not making the tournament, and pretty much having the same team back. So I think UConn wins this one. I think they win this one by double digits, honestly, because I think, again, Kling can take Baycott away, and I don't think RJ Davis can do enough in this game. So I got UConn winning this one. I got them winning this, I'd say 74-64 over North Carolina. Justin, you better have us winning in the Garden Tuesday night.
Oh, of course. I'm not having us lose a Hubert Davis in that team. So, we're going to find out a lot of North Carolina because I still don't think defensively they're great. North Carolina, Villanova by 2 down in battle for Atlantis the other day. Yeah. They got Tennessee at home tonight. That should be a good one this evening. But Cormac Ryan, the Notre Dame transfer, he hasn't gotten off to a good start. He's questionable tonight. I think he's going to probably play against UConn. I would think. It sounds like he'll be back for then. But yeah, RJ Davis is playing pretty well. I think he had 23, or he had 30 against Arkansas, 23 against the Villanova. Baycott's kind of been a little hit or miss around the rim this year. He's still an awesome rebounder. He's not, I think he's shooting like 40%. He hasn't been as great around the rim this year finishing wise, but look, North Carolina, I think could score points. They can't. I don't think they can get many stops. Defensively, I think they're going through a lot of lumps right now. I like the freshman, the point guard Elliot Kudrow. He reclassified and he's a point guard. Sometimes they kind of get off the rough starts because they're a lot younger. And you're playing the point guard spot, but I do like him. I think we'll see how he does against Castle, and kind of UConn's probably going to put some pressure on him. But I think UConn is definitely the better team. I have to imagine, because the first time I'm going to experience North Carolina at the Guard, I have to imagine they have a pretty good alumni base out in New York City.
There'll be a nice crowd. It'll be a nice crowd between the two teams.
Oh yeah, absolutely. So I assume maybe UConn has a slight edge in that, but yeah, at the Garden, I think UConn's a better team. I know North Carolina, I think probably like the third, fourth best team right now in the ACC. I still have a lot of question marks. I do think they're better than last year. I do think this is a tournament team. How far they go, I don't think too far, but I think they're a better team. They could put up points. I think, Caleb Love did have to leave. Like, I think that all that kind of relationship stuff had to kind of, I think that's kind of fixed this year, but I still think UConn's a better team. I think this is definitely a game. I got UConn win by double digits.
Yeah, I think UConn definitely wins this one. But I think UConn wins this one, and I'm with you. I think they win it by double digits. But that's going to wrap it up this week on Sports Talk with R&J. For Justin and Afrio, I'm Steve Risser. We will be back next week talking about Week 14 of the NBA season and the in-season tournament. No, Week 14 of the NFL season and the in-season tournament in the NBA. Have a great weekend, everyone.
Jones on first down, wide open, it's Barkley. And Saquon Barkley will take it into the end zone.
Your best ability is availability. Saquon Barkley, he's great when he's on the field, but the problem is since 2018, he hasn't been healthy for this team.
Look at this. They lob it to him. He taps it in off the glass. How about that?
Porter Moser, I think right now is the best coach in college basketball, hands down.
Fins 2 for 3. He's done his part. Pitch is drilled to deep right field toward the pole, and it is gone.
They don't mind not being what they were in the 90s as the best organization in baseball, because the Yankees aren't even close to the best organization in baseball.
You're trying to be the Rays, and the Rays do this for a reason. Like, you're the Yankees.
Hello, my name is Joe Aguirre. I'm the president of Clovercrest Media Group, and here at CMG we have a wide variety of podcasts, including sports shows like Keys to the City, The Roll Call, Throwing Jabs, All Four Downs, and Jawing About the G-Men, and great true crime shows like Sticky Week, Crimes and Consequences, Ivy League Murders, and Bird, the unsolved murder of David Eichmann. You can find all these podcasts and so much more by visiting clovercrestmedia.com.